Good evening and welcome to episode 17 of Star Wars Culture Live, a fairly new podcast focusing on Star Wars excitement and connection, your escape pod for hyperspace buzz and fandom fixes. As always, I am Ian, and this is Marty, and this is where the fun begins. Instead of the negativity you often find on the Star Wars side of the internet, we want to talk about the things we love about Star Wars, how it enriches our lives, the community, culture, fans, the media, anything at all. So, as always, throughout the show or after, if you have anything at all for us, reactions, questions, requests, suggestions for future segments, anything at all, throw them in the comments and we will see what we can do. And don't forget to check us out on all the socials everywhere. We are at SW Culture Live. We are no longer on Facebook. Specifically, we'll get to that in a second. I have a little announcement thing about that. But we have audio podcast sources too. We are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you leave us a 5-star review and leave us some questions or whatever, we will read them on the air, as long as they're okay to read on the air live. A couple of new announcements. We had a Facebook page called Star Wars Culture. We thought we were safe because we changed the name to SW Culture, but Facebook is cracking down on copyright stuff. And because obviously we are not Disney and we don't own the Star Wars title and media and franchise and stuff like that, we got zucked. So we are no longer on Facebook as SW Culture Live or Star Wars Culture Live, but each week on Wednesday, as we are streaming to YouTube, we will also stream at 7 p.m. to Culture Slate, the Facebook page. So fear not if you are not seeing us on your normal Facebook source. We are still on Facebook, just on the main Culture Slate page instead of the SW Culture page. And we're still on YouTube, same spot. And if you are new, welcome. If you're just seeing us because you follow Culture Slate and maybe you didn't follow the SW Culture page, welcome. We're a podcast that focuses on what we love about Star Wars. And right now, obviously, we're pretty dug deep into Skeleton Crew, so that's what each episode is about. But this is episode 17, so go back and check us out. We like to when we're not talking about the new show, we like to talk about our top 3 things, top 3 whatever, starships or characters or Jedi or funny moments or whatever. We haven't done funny moments. That's a good one. We should keep that. We should remember that.
Oh yeah.
I'm definitely gonna remember
filing it right now.
File it away. It's definitely not going to get accidentally deleted. But anyway, that's one announcement. Second announcement is, as you might have guessed, next week there's a major holiday in here in the United States, and it goes by the name of Christmas. So we are not going to be doing an episode on Christmas Day. So don't expect to see an episode from us then, but you could catch us on the flip side. Oh my God, what is that? New Year's Day?
Be New Year's Day. Maybe we might do one. I don't know. We haven't talked about that.
We might do one. We might see. I mean, we're a couple of crazy guys, so we might be out partying or stuff. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll let you know. But anyway, those are our main 2 announcements for now. But the next thing we usually do, as usual, is to start with some quick fun facts about each host to help you get to know us a little bit better each episode. So, Marty, take it away. Fun fact. I can tell by your face that you are totally prepared for a fun fact this evening.
Oh yeah, totally prepared. Yeah, totally. No. I I did not think about one at all. It was kind of a last thing today on my mind. I was kind of ready to talk about Skeleton Crew. I completely forgot, but I guess I'll do something. I have something within reach that I'll say, but
totally accidental. You happen to have this within reach.
Totally. Believe it or not, this was accidental. It just happened to be in reach of something. But I know one time I talked about how I was like my favorite metal bands was like Metallica and Blind Guardian. But there's a little bit of something lot of people might find also kind of interesting is like, I'm not gonna lie, I like Taylor Swift. There, I said it.
Hey,
And
Swifty.
I'm a Swift. Yeah, yeah. So
All right.
I went to the Eras tour last year.
Oh,
Thank my sister-in-law for that.
damn.
Yeah. Cincinnati, went to that concert. Amazing. I got a T-shirt, but I wanted to save that one, so they were having a sale here earlier this week for old ones, like old T-shirts and all that. And so I got an exact same T-shirt that I wore to the Eras concert.
Nice.
And out of all the
Well
shirts,
done.
this is the one I love the most.
That's great. That's awesome. I also, I mean, I like, I can't say I dislike Taylor Swift's music. I don't mind it, I guess. It's definitely catchy as heck. But I don't know. I don't gravitate toward her, but I recognize when someone is like the most sold out artist in the history of the world, like you can't deny that she's got something going on. And I have a lot of friends that absolutely love her. Um, my only thing is that I hate the Kansas City Chiefs, and it's hard to separate that sometimes. I don't mind her. Like, there are a bunch of people who hate the fact that she's shown on TV. I don't care about that. It's like 4 seconds every game. I don't care. I want her boyfriend to lose football. And I am a firm believer. You can take this to the bank. The Chiefs do not deserve to be 12-1 right now. They don't. If you look at they haven't scored more than 30 points in a single game this year. Do you know the last time that a team went 12-1 and didn't score 30 points? You know what? I'm getting off topic. I hate the Chiefs. They do not deserve half the wins they have. They should be like 6-5. Anyway, my fun fact is that I hate the Chiefs. No, I'm just kidding. My fun fact is that I am a specific kind of tired today because I happen to be active duty Army, and we had our ACFT today, our Army Combat Fitness Test. So my body is telling me not to do any of the things that I'm trying to get it to do now that it's 7 in the evening after doing that test. It's okay while I'm sitting down. It's not bad while I'm sitting down, but after this test, after this podcast, I'm going to attempt to stand up, and that's not going to go well for me. So that's my fun fact. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like a little, like a lazy tired. Like after you do something like physical, you're like, oh yeah, it feels nice to sit. But as soon as I get up, there's gonna be some weird noises happening. I like how none of our fun facts were about Star Wars, but it's been 8 minutes of that, so maybe we should not delay these people any longer from some Star
That's
Wars
what
stuff.
I hear.
All right,
They're here for Star Wars.
Yeah, they're here for Star Wars. I'm so sorry. Look, I got a Star Wars hat and a Star Wars shirt, and he's got a Star Wars shirt, and we like Star Wars. Look, Grogu, he's really into Star Wars. We promise we're a Star Wars podcast. All right, here we go. HoloNet news. The first thing we like to do is talk about the news that's around the internet. I just came up with not much crazy happened this week. The biggest one that I enjoyed were that there were some new stills that came out that were leaked. I don't know, leaked, but from the Andor season 2. I only saw 3 of them, but looks like Mon Mothma is in her extremely extravagant office still, so glad she's still doing well. And then this looks like, Cassian and, oh man, I forget her name. It's like Lux or something. It's Bex. Is that it?
I don't know. I would have known this. So I would have known this before or after the show.
Yeah, I think it's Bex. I could be wrong. But they're seems like they're in a serious discussion. And then he's in obviously some sort of looks like a ship. So it looks like a set where it's like a ship or a.
I think it's
a
that new tie.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are tie controls.
Yeah, looks like a tie cockpit for sure. It's round like that. But I cannot overstate how excited I am for Andor season 2. Even though Andor is not my favorite season, I do believe it's my favorite show. I do believe it's the best Star Wars show that is out there. just the setup and the delivery on like it's a slow build, but the setup and everything. I will sit there. This is definitely a show that I'm going to watch when my toddler is not around. My toddler is in bed, asleep, quiet, so I can focus because like every detail is important in shows like this, and I'm very excited. How about you, Marty?
Yeah.
How you like
Oh
Andor?
yeah, I mean, it wasn't my favorite as well. It was kind of slow. I'm gonna start giving this a chance, especially when Andor gets season 2 gets closer. So I'm gonna start probably rewatching it weeks beforehand just to get prepped and try to remember a lot of things because I feel like that show has just kind of lost a lot of like I've lost a lot of things about that in my head.
Like the
So it'd have
details?
been yeah,
Yeah.
details, just the whole story in general, really. So
Yeah,
I'm
I
gonna
think
start giving that a watch. Hopefully, my opinion will change.
that's one of those shows where like a lot of the times when I'm watching shows, like me and my wife will watch TV shows sometimes, and we'll just be on our phones and we'll be talking and we'll whatever. And that's fine for a lot of shows. That is not a thing that you can do with this show. You need to I feel like to get the most out of this show and truly appreciate what they have created. It's the kind of thing where you need to be there. Like you need to be present and watching for every minute. Like if you're on your phone or you lose track of things for a minute, like yeah, it goes slow and there's people talking about bureaucratic things and there's people just a lot of it is just conversations. And when you're not paying attention to every detail of the content of those conversations, then it gets boring. Like you get phased out, and it doesn't have the impact that I think is intended. But I was lucky enough the first time, I guess, that I was just staring at it, like watching the whole time, and I think it's I think it's the best, the highest quality cinema. That and Rogue One is the highest quality cinema that Star Wars has to offer right now. So anyway,
I
there
will
were some
say,
new stills. Oh yeah, go ahead.
yeah. I was just saying, it's funny you mentioned like how it's really all talking and things like that. I'm like, that's true, but I don't know why I couldn't get so invested into this, considering like I watched The Sopranos. It's one of my favorite shows, and that's a
Oh my
lot
god,
about
yeah,
talking, or literally Tony
exactly.
staring off into space for 20 minutes. I
Yep.
could watch that no problem, but this I was like, I don't know.
I bet it's because you were younger and you had more time. That's what you're a grown up now. I bet when you watched The Sopranos, you were younger and you had more time to spare. That's my guess. Tell me if I'm wrong.
That makes sense. I think I
Yeah,
think you kind of hit the nail on the head there.
boom. I'm a keen observer of the human condition, Marty. Um, I'm, I'm also tipsy. I don't know. I don't know how this happened. Maybe it's because I did a PT test earlier. But anyway, that's one piece of news. New stills from Andor. Another piece of news is that Culture Slate and Star Wars Underworld and we've kind of come up with this thing of Sequel Appreciation Day, and that was either today or yesterday.
Today.
Today. Okay. So today is actually Sequel Appreciation Day. And I just want to take a moment and we've gone into detail. Like when we had our own episodes of 7, 8, and 9, go back and check those out. We did kind of like a deep dive on each of these episodes, but I just wanted to take a moment to like this was the first iteration of Disney being like, hey, you get Star Wars again. This is what we've got for you. And a lot of people, I think, would not have been happy no matter what was presented to them. But I watched it and I was excited. I think I I rewatch these pretty regularly. I like they had an we've talked about this, but they had like an impossible task of creating new content that both felt new and paid homage to the old. And that's not an easy task. And I think I'm very pleased with with what came out of that. Especially The Last Jedi. It felt weird at first. I'm not gonna lie, it did feel weird, especially the whole Luke thing. But after listening to a bunch of different takes on it, I think it grew on me like a lot, especially the Holdo maneuver. I can't believe I didn't think of that before I saw it on screen. But yeah, what do you take a sec? What do you like about the sequels?
Well, I'm gonna keep saying this, but The Last Jedi is my favorite of the sequel trilogy. I don't care what people say about it, and really, I've seen a lot of people say that it doesn't seem the most Star Warsy out of Star Wars. But if you actually go back and watch it, to me, it feels like it really is more Star Warsy than the other ones, because The Force Awakens felt, to me at least, a little bit more on the sci-fi edge,
Mm.
and then on the Rise of Skywalker, I mean, it had that Star Wars feel, but it felt like it was more like, here's every single Easter egg we're gonna throw at you, and here's all these
Yeah.
references. We're gonna tie everything together. But this one, The Last Jedi, especially the Luke and Rey story, it was really about a master trying to teach an apprentice how to use the Force and learn about the
Yep.
Jedi history.
Yep.
So,
I will say this about The Rise of Skywalker. They did so they went with J.J. Abrams for The Force Awakens, right? And then Rian Johnson with The Last Jedi took a complete left turn. And that's cool. But if you then have to somehow tie that all together in not only the end of a trilogy, but the end of a 9-film saga, I can't. That's not to mention the challenges I said before. Like, it's got to be new and original, but it's also got to pay homage to the old to keep people happy, to keep fans happy. There's an extremely delicate balance that you have to strike there, and I think with the impossible task that it was, I'm still happy with it. Not to mention,
me too.
the greatest twist that I didn't see coming was that moment where he sent the lightsaber to her. I know it was cheesy, but I think it was Star Wars cheesy, and they led up to it perfectly. Like, they were like,
Mhm.
"How are we connected?" And they first they showed water between them. It was like, "Oh, she's on a water planet, and my glove is wet now. That's weird." And then he grabbed the necklace off of her. And I was like, wait a minute, you can do that? You can reach through the Force and grab stuff? And then they didn't
Yeah,
talk about it at all, but knew because of their connections that they, one connection, I guess. They knew because of their connection that she would be able to transfer the lightsaber to him. And that was the most badass culmination. They led up to it through 2 movies, and I loved it. I don't know. I just that was mind blowing to me. And then someone took that video and paired it with "I Need a Hero." That song
yeah,
and it
him
was
running around and shoot.
yeah,
Yeah,
you've seen that. Yeah, it's so good. And he does that little shrug. He's like, "I got a lightsaber." He's like,
the solo shrug.
"We doing this?" Yeah, the solo shrug, exactly. So yeah. Anyway, sequel appreciation day. I love these movies. I don't know. They're Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is so good.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we still have Star Wars. I spent so many years living in a world where Star Wars was done. I was just a dream of having more movies about it. It's like, no, it's about
Yeah.
it was about Anakin's story, and that's all we get. And nope. Thank you for that.
Yeah, a world where we didn't have much any Star Wars movies left, and also back in a time where it wasn't as popular. Remember, you kind of had to hide a little bit that you were a Star Wars
Yeah.
fan.
It was like if you were a Star Wars nerd, it was like you show that to a very few. You show that to a special few people. Like, you'd have your nerdy friends come over. We would have a Star Wars movie night, or me and my brother would play Star Wars video games together, but we didn't play with anybody else, I don't think. And then now that I'm a grown up, I see that all these people, Star Wars Battlefront, the old ones, like the 2005 or whatever it was, or year it was. Like people are obsessed with that. And
Yeah.
I didn't know everybody was obsessed with that. I didn't know how many download or how many purchases it did or how many people were like obsessed with it. But now that we have the technology to like recreate it for PS5 and Xbox, whatever the newest Xbox and PC, like everyone's playing it, and it's like I was like, man, I wish the community had, yeah. Anyway, sequel appreciation day. We appreciate you, Star Wars sequels. Last piece of news here. Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures wins 2 children's and family Emmys. I have watched this show a little bit. I have a toddler. I'm not gonna lie, I don't get super entertained watching the show. It's very cute and it introduces them to Star Wars. It's fun, but like I can't. It is very much a kid's show. I can't really watch it for more than like 10 minutes. I'm like, all right, what are we doing? But for my daughter, I will do it.
I watched the whole first season. I haven't watched the first half of season 2 yet, but I am all Nubs Nation here. I love Nubs.
Yes, Nubs. I was very pleased that Nubs made an appearance in the Lego special. What was it called? Rebuild the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Darth Nubs or something.
Darth Nubs. Yeah.
Yeah. I was very happy to see that he made an appearance in there. We should do a poll on the cutest character. We need Neil, we need Nubs, we need
Grogu.
Grogu. I don't know, maybe Babu Freak. That's like
maybe.
a different category, isn't it? He's not.
Mate.
We'll get back.
Do you want to do Neil or Neil's twin babies, like baby twins?
Oh my god. No, that's not fair. We gotta do Neil. They're babies.
Fair enough.
All right, so that's our news segment. We're gonna move on now to Marty's segment on this day in Star Wars history. So take it away.
All right. So today's actually kind of follows with Sequel Appreciation Day because, believe it or not, this day in 2015, Star Wars: The Force Awakens premieres in the U.S.
What a coincidence!
What a coincidence, indeed. I remember going to watch this in theaters. I think maybe. Now I can't even remember the exact time, but I remember it's still in the month of December. But I think it was a little bit before Christmas, and it was the first, believe it or not, live action Star Wars movie I seen in theaters. I missed the prequels because of unfortunate circumstances. My family didn't really go out to movie theaters a whole lot, and then when Episode 3 came out, I was supposed to go with a buddy of mine, but he forgot me. So,
question:
yeah.
Are you still buddies with him?
No, I haven't talked to him or seen him in years.
Good. That's the right answer. Forgot you on the way to Star Wars Episode 3.
Yeah. So instead, they took his sister's boyfriend. I was like, what?
Oh, instead. So they didn't forget you. They replaced you.
No, I'm not sure if it was a replace or if they just forgot it was supposed to be taking both of us. I don't really know.
Marty, search your feelings. You know it to be true.
I know. And the sad part is I watched them pull out of the driveway.
Oh, my God. You're breaking my heart.
That's a fun fact here. No.
Yeah, I was about to say, we better cut this into a reel because that is heartbreaking. All right.
But yeah, so the first actual Star Wars movie was Clone Wars, but this is the first live action.
Yes. Okay. All right. It makes it a little better. Yes. All right. So, yeah, on this day, I'm now realizing that probably this is why Sequel Appreciation Day is December 18th. Yeah, I remember that I did see this in theaters. I remember that I was dating a girl at the time, and we got into a big fight like on the way there. I don't remember about what, but I just remember that there was a fight before we went into this movie, and she was not a Star Wars nerd. She was just, following me along, and I was so hyped in the theater, but I wasn't like sure if I could like share the hype with her because I didn't know if she was still mad at me. It was weird. It was a weird dynamic, but it was funny. It's funny now looking back on it, but I don't know why I remember that part of it, but I do remember I remember sitting in the theater the first moment when it was like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and then just like the old movies, just like the original trilogy and the prequels, it was like and it's the Star Wars logo appeared on the screen. It was like, I am seeing a new Star Wars movie in theaters, just like people did in the 70s and 80s, just like we did in the 90s, that like we thought this would never happen again, and this is happening right now, and I'm experiencing it. It was great. It was cool. Every single moment I was like, oh my god, he's the next one. He's good. He's a pilot. There's a droid that's like a ball. It was great. Very fun.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to move on to my segment, which is Dad Joke of the Week. And I hope you like this one. They're not good. They're never good. But why don't Minox make good pets? They're too clingy. Yeah. Yeah. If that goes over your head, this is what a Minox looks like. It's those sticky things that were in the space slug cave in the asteroid. They have these suction mouth things, and they suck onto things. I'm not an expert. I'm not a space zoologist, but I assume they use that to get food of some kind. But yeah, they're too clingy. Good job, Ian. Everyone watching is just cackling right now. I'm sure of it. All right, let's get into the meat of the episode here. Let's talk about Skeleton Crew episode 4. Now, before we go any further, we have to do something. So we are going to talk about things that happened in the latest episode of Skeleton Crew, which came out last night. It's been out for about 22 hours. And so if you have not seen it yet, don't stop watching for now. Just pause it. Come back to us later because we're going to talk about it. Come back to us like right after you see the episode. But we're going to talk about some spoilers. We're going to talk about stuff that happens. So if you haven't seen the episode yet, so just keep that in mind. All right. Star Wars episode 4. What do you got?
All right, you want to do Easter eggs first? Do you got any Easter eggs?
Yeah, I got to pop into some Easter eggs.
All right. I'll start. The one thing that I kind of found was, and I actually kind of scoured a little bit for this one, but it was kind of nice. This planet, the planet that they visit at Akron, the name Akron, actually, the way it's spelled there, actually is derives from Acheron in ancient Greek mythology, and it means pain or river of woe. It's basically like the river of Hades in the underworld. So, I guess really now when you watch the episode, you're going to think that is a very accurate name.
Yeah, I mean, it did not seem like a happy place. River of Woe. Yeah, they're kind of, I mean, they have two factions, and they're just fighting for survival. It's a big contrast to the Attin like suburban utopia that we saw on the other planet. Yeah, and you said it was spelled like I watch with subtitles because I'm a deaf millennial. So is that yeah?
At Akron is spelled Achrann, but the Greek how they spell it is Acheron. So it's kind of a derivative way.
Okay. Okay, it's there. It's not nothing.
It's there.
Yeah. I have two Easter eggs. One of them I saw, obviously we all saw if we watched the episode, and then the other one I found scrolling. Thank you, Star Wars Underworld. The first one is Eopies. I remember them. They had I don't know if it was a different gender or something, but they had horned Eopies. They have like antlers or something on Akron, but I heard the exact same sound and it triggered me. I was like, wait a minute, I know that sound. I know that.
Yeah.
And it was from episode 1 where the Eopie like in the pod racer arena like farted in Jar Jar's face. And I remember that noise and the afterward. It was really funny. But Eopies were in episode 1. They're most often seen on Tatooine. They are kind of beasts of burden. Is it also? It just occurred to me as I was finding this photo. Is it also in the Obi-Wan show? Is this the creature that he has like tied up under that bridge?
Yes, he's actually got one as well.
Okay, yeah. So
he's named it, but I forgot the name of it.
Steve, pretty sure it's Steve. But yeah, so Eopie's Tatooine, but obviously they are not exclusive to Tatooine. It seems like they have gotten some mileage, or maybe it's a different breed of them or something. Like these definitely have antlers.
I think it's kind of like you have your different types of dogs and cats. They get a different type of Eopie.
Yeah,
right. You could also find Eopies on Saluka Mine apparently too.
Oh, I did not know that. There you go.
All right, I kind of forgot about that.
Kind of like a galaxy-wide beast of burden there. So I guess it's kind of like where they brought horses across the entire planet, like throughout history, and so now maybe they brought Eopies across the whole galaxy because of how useful they found them. I hope they treat them well. The last Easter egg that we found is coming to us from Star Wars Underworld. Thank you, Star Wars Underworld. This Star Tours ride from Disney World. It's a Star Speeder is what they call the ship. It's the one that you climb into, that you basically it's the ship that you are like on for that Star Tours ride at Disney. Apparently, if you zoom in or pause or whatever when the Onyx Cinder is trying to escape Port Borgo, this is actually episode 3, sorry, but not episode 4. But apparently, if you zoom in, the Star Speeder 1000 from Star Tours can be found in the background. So I guess some lucky Disney fans are visiting Space Buckies. So that's good. That's fun. Sorry, I didn't realize it was from episode 3. So there's a belated Easter egg from episode 3. You're welcome.
It's all right. We still haven't talked about the acrobats from episode 1. We were supposed to do that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, probably. All right, so that was our Easter eggs. What kind of reaction did you have to this episode? Did you like it better than the others? Worse? Same? What's up?
Okay, I liked overall. I guess it wasn't my favorite so far. I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't my favorite of the episodes. It did, however, have some great moments, great scenery. It was like stepping into a different genre of movie or show in this case, just because of the way Akron looks like. Did have some good moments, especially our boy Neil. I enjoyed those scenes.
Indeed.
And of course you got to give it up for Jod and Smee. Their interactions were always great.
Yep. Jod, I think the whole struggle for power in the ship in general, Jod and Smee and Fern, There was a moment in the beginning where Fern and Jod were having a struggle that I really enjoyed. That just because of the way that Smee like is wired, like he follows the orders of his captain, like the that just because of that like little technicality, Fern has more power right now than Jod does, and that was demonstrated. It was like Fern said this, Jod didn't like this. He decides, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that, and the droid's like, excuse me, and are you not following the orders of the captain? And the and so the the power was like shifted in Fern's favor, and he's like, oh my god, these kids. It was really funny. Yeah, yeah, no, go on.
I was just saying, but what did you think of it?
Oh yeah, I think I agree. It wasn't my favorite, but I acknowledge that this type of episode has to happen. It was. I told my wife it was. This is a feelings episode.
That
I love how much they focused on Neil. Like he's clearly not like a warrior in the like the standard sense of like he's not jumping around doing things like Wim or Fern is doing, but he's like trying to think of like how to solve problems big picture, and he's talking to I don't remember her name, but he's talking to the daughter of the chief of the clan, and he's like not just trying to solve their immediate situation, he's trying to solve like the whole war on the whole planet. And we're like, dude, that's epic. Like you're a child, but that's
yeah,
pretty
right.
epic. Like, and I'm a sucker for action scenes, and I wish there was a little more of that. Like when they were, I thought there was going to be a battle, but no, it was just Jod being like, I bought these Eopies back from the, and I was actually suspicious. I thought that he had made a deal with the I don't remember any of the names of the factions or anything, but I thought he had made a deal with those guys that he was gonna share with them the treasures of Attin or something. And I was like, you can't trust this guy even more. It's like, no, he just stole your credits. All right, no big deal. But yeah, it was I don't want to say filler episode. It wasn't a filler episode. It was important stuff. I'm a huge sucker for action scenes, and so when the episode 3 ended with like him fighting Kim and then like X-wings chasing the Onyx Cinder, that was pretty cool. But I admit this, this is character arcs, character development. This is something that needs to happen. I didn't not enjoy it. It's just the mystery. I'm like, oh, I need to know.
Right.
Tell me.
I will say, I don't know. I hate being wrong because my prediction for this episode was not exactly this. Was not this entire like at all. Like I expected this episode to be about the parents because we've had our time with the kids. Let's move on to the parents. But nope, here we are with the kids some more. But now they're on like a post-apocalyptic world. It feels like, even though it's just war-torn for generations. And you really start to see throughout this episode, though, how much Jod actually cared for the kids.
Yeah,
like I was very surprised by some of it too, like the way he actually hugged Wim and Neil back after they went jumping on him, and then just the way he saved Neil's life. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I still don't trust him. I feel like, yes, he did all the right things. I don't know if he did them for all the right reasons. I feel like he's still got the only thing that he really can. Like, I don't know if he would have done all that if there was 100% chance that he was getting no treasure whatsoever.
That's true.
So I'm worried. I feel like he's still I need to get on these kids' good side. I need to stay on these kids' good side, which means saving them and whatever.
I mean, he could have just been like, "Oh, I wasn't fast enough for Neil. Sorry," but he literally made the jump and hit the power off switch.
That's true, but I think, like, imagine how traumatized those kids would have been and how furious I would have been if anything happened to Neil. Like, there was no scenario where Neil gets killed and then he gets his treasure. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, he'll bring them home and then he's on Attin and they're going to be like, arrest this man. But now, by saving him, he's like in their good graces.
Yeah. I do feel like, though, he's actually starting to feel conflicted with how he's going about it, though. With this episode, so he's like, I still want my treasure. I still want to get to Attin and get my treasure, but I feel like the Grinch heart in me is trying to grow, and I'm trying to suppress it a little bit.
Okay, I don't know if I saw that yet. I'm not there yet. Maybe I'm just not. I don't know. I'm sus.
But he plays it off as banter. He's like, oh yeah,
yeah,
just whatever.
Yeah, that could be me. Just not having watched it enough times. I watched it once.
So I did too, but I'm like, I'm gonna give this guy the benefit of the doubt.
I refuse. This is Star Wars Pirate Land. I refuse to give. No, I trust no one. I trust Neil.
He would be the only one I trust.
Yeah. I woke up with a prediction. I had this prediction. Oh, I do want to say that I predicted when they were like, oh, the mystery of Akron. Like when they landed on the planet, and they were like, what? This tree's too big. Like this has to be. My wife and I were discussing theories, and I predicted that I'm taking a dub for myself, little crown, little trophy for myself. I predicted correctly that they were on a planet, like a twin planet of Attin. Because we were batting around a theory that it was like interstellar, where like on this planet time moves like slower or faster. You know what I'm saying? So like when they were away from the planet outside the barrier, time moved way more slowly for them. So they're still young, but they came back to the planet and it was like 100 years later. And I was like, I cannot see a circumstance where they just made all these kids' parents die. I can't see that. That's not what happened. It must be like, but they are recognizing things. It must be like a twin planet or a planet that like they mentioned the other jewels of the old republic. So it must be like one of the other worlds that they, and I'm doing a victory lap right now because then they went into that room and they had all these other ats at Akron, at Olivia, at whatever. And I was like, I was right. It's a different planet. But I have another theory. I want it on record. So I have a half theory and I have a full theory. The full theory is that the previous captain, the one who told Smee to keep the secret that he didn't remember at Attin and to fight anyone who comes looking for Attin and to destroy the coordinates at Attin. It was not to hide the treasure, like it was to protect the people. It was a benevolent gesture. It was the treasure is these people who are living happily on a world peacefully, unbothered by the other things in the galaxy. You don't see this, and this needs to be protected. So I'm going to erase these coordinates. This jewel of the Republic was successful. I am protecting all these people. That is my big number one theory. My half theory is that captain is Wim's dad. I said it here. You heard it here first, probably, unless it's on the internet somewhere. But I don't think it is.
I was going to say my theory on the captain is the supervisor. Like, why do you think he wouldn't do anything about trying to get the kids back? He's like, well, I mean, Smee doesn't know anything about this. I commanded him not to do it, so why bother?
It's true. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. It's just something about how close that ship was buried to their house. And I want to go back and watch. I want to go back and watch the scene where Wim's dad watches him being carried away by the ship, because I want to see exactly what emotions are on his face. I want to see, like, is it like surprise? Is it like panic? Is it like, is there anything on his face that leads to, oh my god, I've seen this ship before? Like, how did they find this ship? Or is it all just like, I'm losing my son, this is terrible? I want to go back and watch that again. That's like I said, that's only a half theory. Like, I don't know how long ago it was, because if it was like, I mean, Wim's not that old. Like, I don't know. Would a ship really be that rough after only like 7 years or 10 years or however? I don't know if it was underground, maybe.
Right. True.
I
Guess
don't
we'll
know.
have to find out. Episode 5 is usually where everything gets
I know it's the
big
next
and
one.
things come out.
Yeah. I need to know the mystery. That's good. What about you? Any predictions before we head into trivia?
I say this episode right here. No, I don't really have any more predictions, to be honest with you. I think maybe next episode we'll actually start learning the connections a little bit more of the jewels of the planets, like the jewels of the old republic. Like, I think maybe now I will say now, number 5, the parents will be involved in this episode some way, somehow, because
yes,
it's got to be. But I will say I did take note of all the ats that were named, and they only named a total of 6 out of the 9. So, like, I'm wondering what happened. Like, maybe they just get around to the other 3. And so maybe we might go visit another at planet.
Yeah,
or
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I would say, or they're gonna go because I feel like, okay, prediction here. This is all about getting the coordinates to all the at planets, so that way they could find the one that actually has the coordinates to at. So that's what this whole series could be. Yeah.
Wait, because if at Akron has the coordinates to all the other planets, then maybe all of the planets.
Yeah,
have the coordinates to all the others.
Yeah, because it did have at Attin, but Smee, under the direct orders of the old captain, lasered it out.
Right.
Like, blasted it out. So
maybe one of these other planets 7 are destroyed, are all destroyed. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I like it. I like it. That's the best prediction yet.
And just to say, I think the next planet with the at title, they're going to go to at A2, spelled AYTUU, just because I feel like, I don't know. That was the next one I wrote down on the list.
It ends the same as Batu, which is their world in Disney. So I don't know. Maybe that's something. I think I'm grasping at straws here now.
These worlds will all be like, ooh, that's early.
Yeah, right. What? 48 minutes? What are you doing? I charged it today. Come on.
But I think all these worlds will be, in one way or the other, like a mirror image of Attin. So all the buildings are going to look the same, just maybe destroyed, maybe upgraded, downgraded. Haven't reached it yet.
Because they made a huge deal of, like, Neil was, like, recognizing things. Like, they were like, oh, yeah, it's home. I recognize these buildings, these suburbs. And like, the school was in the right place. And that, like, they created it exactly the same. So, yeah. And they even showed us the bus with the droid on it, like the Star Tours droid, the Disney droid. They showed us like an old, destroyed, decrepit version of it. Like, so it's clearly the same formula. So, yeah, it's really interesting. I have questions. Forever, I have questions.
Right.
All right, so that's Skeleton Crew, episode 4. And as always, we're going to move to our. If you have anything for us, any predictions, any reactions, and any of predictions of your own that hey, say it now. Get credit for it later, because I want that mine are going on the internet, and if it turns out it was benevolent, I want full credit for that. But for now, we're going to move on to our trivia, which normally we do 5 questions from all the different eras. But right now, during this run of Skeleton Crew, we're doing a special iteration of just Skeleton Crew Trivia Challenge, which is just one question about the most recent episode of Skeleton Crew. So, Marty, what you got?
All righty. So, yeah. Hope you guys like the new logo we'll be using this going here on out. So the question is, what is the name Wim thinks belongs to the person of the statue they discover? I wish I had a picture on it too, but they discover it while they're exploring at Akron. They come across it. They're trying to figure out who it belongs to, but is it A, King Numbskull, B, King Bob?
I wish it was King Bob.
C, King No Face, or D, King No Head?
I don't remember this at all. I don't think it was Bob. I don't think they would just put a random human name in there. I think it has to be either No Face or No Head. That's my guess. I'm going 50-50.
You're gonna go 50-50 here. Okay.
Yeah.
I decided this question after we had we were talking about the creatures. I was like, well, now let me think of another question. This is the one that came to mind. This was actually a second one. I thought about doing a double whammy, but here we are. And I thought this was too, because it felt really like kids trying to come up with names for what they see. And the answer to this question, comments. Ooh, is Jason right?
Hey, well done, Jason.
It was D, King No Head.
King No Head. I don't remember that at all, but it sounds exactly like something Wim would say.
Yeah, it was a statue that was that they literally found, had all of its body mostly intact except the head, and there's no plaque. So all the kids were trying to guess. Wim was like, I think his name is King No Head.
Man, I do not remember that at all.
And Fern just dead stares at him. Is like, really? You think his name is King No Head? He's like, what? It could be. I'm
embarrassed because I don't remember that conversation at all. Maybe I wasn't paying attention as much as I should have been. Watch it again. Yeah, that sounds like a kid's conversation. King No Head. So was that statue one that existed at Attin as well?
We haven't seen the one on Attin. I bet it's supposed to be what the supervisor looks like, but they're not going to reveal that to us.
Okay. Not yet.
Not yet.
Fine. I will accept these mysteries because I trust that they will have satisfying answers. Congrats, Jason, getting that trivia question. We don't always have correct answers in the comments so quickly. But with that is pretty much our show. If we hope you enjoy what we are doing here. We know Star Wars fandom and comment sections can sometimes get dark and toxic, but it doesn't have to be that way. We are trying to bring fun and positivity to the Star Wars side of the internet. Remember, there are more of us. Try to say that like Lando. Old Lando. Again, if you have anything for us, questions, requests, suggestions for segments, anything at all, throw them in the comments and we will see what we can do. Also, follow us everywhere at SW Culture. At SW Culture Live. And again, a little announcement on Facebook. We are now going to be just mostly operating through the Culture Slate page. because our SW Culture page got zucked. And but everywhere else, Instagram, TikTok, not TikTok, yeah, Instagram, YouTube, Blue Sky, X, but at SW Culture Live, that is us. And don't forget to follow us. Also, I am Nerdiest Stepdad, as you can see here at what right there.
It's very hard, ain't it?
Bad. I know, it's really no at Nerdiest Stepdad. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, everywhere. And over there, Marty Ingleston, Marty21794 on what is that, Instagram and TikTok, and then Marty Ingleston the third on Facebook and Twitter. X. Sorry. So sorry, Elon.
It's Martin Lee Ingleston the third on Facebook.
I knew that.
Yeah. The whole name, just because I am the third. My dad and my grandfather both have profiles on there. So
nice. Yeah. So I guess if it's the same network, you gotta differentiate.
Yeah. And then Martin Ingleston on X. No characters, nothing like that. I think I was the first one to get to Twitter or X. Nice. Sorry, Elon. Sorry.
God, we're just offending him all over today. But yeah, follow us, follow the show. I would normally at this point say see you next week, next Wednesday at 7, but like I said before, Christmas. So maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in 3 weeks. Hey, if it's 3 weeks, we got a lot of Skeleton Crew to talk about, so that'll be exciting.
Oh yeah.
But we will either way, we will see you next time, and have a great rest of your night.